Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. And today, as you can see in the title, we are doing another pickups video. Yes, I'm trying to get caught up on these videos. I think I'm about 3 behind right now. I'm trying to get all the way caught up, but it could be difficult. You know, it's a lot of games. But I got to keep you guys laced up. That's why I enjoy putting these videos out for you guys. So we're going to get through another banger here. I will be talking about some RedRaptor games in the video, so I'll have links to the description on where to buy those from if you guys are interested in those. But anyways, guys, let's get right into it. Now here is Sparklite. Now I feel like this is the best game to kind of start this list off. Now Sparklite came out back in 2019, and I remember picking this game up. Nobody knew what it was. I talked about it briefly in a pickups video, but the game didn't really catch on with a lot of folks, at least a lot of people that I've seen. Now the game starts off with you crash landing on this island, and the first thing I love about this game is that you're able to move really fast. You have a dash, you have your attack, and you also get a projectile attack right in the beginning of the game. You won't be able to keep it right away, but it shows you the mechanics of the game immediately, so you know what you have to look forward to. Now, right after you learn the moves, you're thrown right into a boss battle, and I thought I had all the tools I needed to beat the boss. I felt like I could have took him, but unfortunately for me, it took too much damage from me, and I lost the battle. But it shows you what you have to look forward to. The bosses also have transformations as well. Like, you won't just like it won't have the same pattern over and over again. It'll change up, so that's uniqueness, I would say, to the boss battles. Red Blue Games created something special with Sparklite, and I think a lot of you guys will feel the same way too once you play this game. I guess a good way for me to say is that they created something nostalgic without forcing it to be nostalgic, you know, on purpose. You know, just the game is just nostalgic to people who have played like other adventure games, so you'll feel right at home with this one. I even went further and got the collector's edition for the game because I liked it that much, and the collector's edition came with a bunch of extras that you're seeing here. Now, I originally played this game on the Switch, but I think I'm going to play it on the PS4 to unlock some of the trophies. The game took me around 10 hours to beat, but I think if you're trying to be a completionist, I think it'll take around like 13 hours. Lots of good gameplay in here, lots of extras to unlock, so I think a lot of people will have fun with this one. Here's Jujitsu Squad. So this game has been out for a while now, and I'm still surprised that a lot of people do not own this. If you are a fan of beat 'em up games, this is a must-have. 4-player beat 'em up, great animations. The story is pretty goofy, but that's what we want with certain games like this. Unlockable characters, all kind of cool stuff with this game. And I like that it doesn't overstay its welcome. The levels aren't that long, so you feel like you're not being stuck in the same area just beating up the same enemies. But you guys know what I'm going to say next. Unfortunately, the game does not have online. We need our beat 'em up games to have online so people can play them together. It's not like everybody's coming to your house to play couch co-op. You know, I know we like that option, but people are busy, man, and sometimes they just can't get to your area and play at your house. So we need online with these games. But hopefully they'll start doing that in the future with these games. We do have shared play, and with shared play, you just got to make sure your online capability is top notch so there is no lag. But this game is on Switch, PS4, and PS5. There's no reason not to play this game. It is a must-play if you're into beat-em-ups. I think they did a really good job. And the game, like I said, it has a bunch of unlockables, so definitely it's going to pull you in. Check this one out. Here's the messenger. So this is a re-release, and this re-release comes with the DLC Picnic Panic, which I haven't got to yet because I'm still halfway through the game. I got stuck on a certain point, and I just kind of like when it happened, I kind of just switched up and played something else, but I need to go back to it and go ahead and complete it. But happy that this version came out because I like having the DLC embedded on the cart and disc. I feel like that's the way it should be when it comes to physical. And if you own the regular edition of this game, you can download the DLC for free. So just to let you guys know that. But yeah, if you haven't played this game, it is freaking fantastic. A lot of fun, comical, a great take on the Ninja Gaiden gameplay from the old school NES games. I feel bad because I was so close to beating this game, I think. But yeah, I'm motivated again to play this, and hopefully by you guys seeing this footage of what type of game it is, you guys will be motivated to play this game too. Here is Everreach, Project Eden. Now, if you like games like Mass Effect, you'll love this one. Now, the game is a fast-paced, story-driven action RPG, so I know most of my fans like those type of games. You play as a woman named Nora Harwood, and she's a part of a security division that's colonizing to this new planet. When you arrive, you think everything's going to be pretty relaxing, but the game, as soon as you get to the planet, stuff blows up, and you're coming in hot. So, playing this game, you know I compared it to Mass Effect, but a lot of people may disagree with the quality of game it is. I actually really like this one. I think it's pretty cool, but it does have some flaws, unfortunately. But still, not enough to stop me from enjoying it. It did go on sale on the PSN for like $3. That happens occasionally with this game. But I would say if you find it for a good price, definitely try this one out. I think most people will like it. But if not, you can bash me in the comments, I guess. Alright, so now we have Indie Heroes Part 4. Man, A.K.A. is really pumping out the games. I love these collections. Plus, they're pretty cheap. They usually range around $20 to $25. There are some special occasions where you might get one that's going for $30. I think the Full Void Collector's Edition went for that price. But other than that, these are very affordable. Now, if you haven't seen my previous videos before, when I talk about A.K.A., I feel like they are the future of retro gaming. I mean, they put a lot of good titles on these collections here, and I feel like the A.K.A. is just a system, the retro system of the future. So everybody should really look into it because the collections they're putting together, the arcade games they're bringing home, I mean, it's serious business. But on this collection itself, there are 3 games I'm really looking forward to playing, and one of them is Curse of Illimore Bay, and then the Ninth King here, as you can see, like a Castlevania game, and Murtop. Really fun games that'll make this collection really stand out. Alright, so here's Brok the Investigator. Now, I got into this game for the wrong reasons. I thought this game was going to be more of a beat 'em up, but it tends to be a little bit of beat 'em up, puzzle solving, adventure. It's all mixed into one, and it kind of just threw me off. Now, the game looks fantastic. This game, well, just by the look of it, will pull a lot of nostalgia in for a lot of people. The voice acting is really well done, and the puzzle solving is pretty good too. But the problem I have with this game is that with the pacing of a puzzle and a beat 'em up mixed together, it just doesn't fit right. So I feel like if this game was more of a beat 'em up, it'd be right up my alley. Now, after saying all that, I found myself mostly going to the quick fight mode, where that mode is pretty much like an arcade beat 'em up. But even playing that, I find myself thinking about games like Streets of Rage 4 or something else. I'd just rather be playing those games. Now, that's not taken away from this beat 'em up, but it's just like, I don't know, when some things are kind of like subpar, you start thinking about other games that you could be playing instead. Now, I hope, I'm not trying to stop you guys from playing this game. I feel like a lot of people will have a better experience than me. But yeah, I just want my game genres to be like one at a time, like beat 'em up, a verse fighting game, or RPG. You can't have all that stuff mixed into one to make a really solid experience, at least for me. I'm not trying to be petty with this one either, but I don't like the title of the game, Brok the Investigator. I see the joke in that, but I feel like, something would have been better like Alligator Express. Don't ask me why. I just think it's a cool name. But anyways, guys, with me saying all that, I do think this will be a better experience for other people. Just wasn't my cup of tea.
Must be one of those trendy voice services. Just press the button and ask whatever you want. Whoa! What's going on with the electricity? No idea how this happened, but I better stay away from that fire.
The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak Part 2 for the PS4. This was a little bit harder for me to get, but luckily I was able to get it for the regular price. These type of games you can't wait. There's no discount on them. Like, they sell out. So I wanted to have the series on one system, which is the PS4. and thankfully so far I'm doing good at that. But anyways, I can't tell you too much about the game because I'm not at this chapter yet. I just need to get the game before it's sold out, so I'll be able to tell you guys more about it in the upcoming months. Here's Clockwork Aquario, the collector's edition for the PlayStation 5. So if you guys don't know about this game, it was an unreleased game like 30 years ago. It got revived by Strictly Limited, and it's one of their first releases actually to come out. But this is a platform game that was in arcades. I mean, it got tested in arcades. It didn't do very well, so they ended up canceling it. But thank goodness they didn't. It wasn't lost forever, and the company helped revive it. So definitely a cool platformer to play. I could kind of understand why it might not have done well in arcades, being a platform, a co-op platform game. But still, I'm happy this game finally got a physical release, and I think most of you will enjoy this game. So definitely check this one out. Alright, so here is Spelunker HD Deluxe. Had no idea this game existed, but I saw a good sale for it, so I decided to pick this up, especially with all the extras this comes with, as you can see here. I guess mainly this box is so big because it comes with this this figure here and this platform that actually plays a sound. As far as the game itself, you know, I thought it was cool because I found out that it has 4-player co-op, online and couch co-op. So I said, yep, this will actually be fun to play with friends. So hopefully the PlayStation Ain't Dead podcast will join me in this crazy adventure. We'll see if this is an enjoyable game. I think it will be. I think it'll be pretty fun. But either way, I like the fact you can switch between the 8-bit graphics too. So like with a click of a button. So like during gameplay, so pretty cool feature they added to this. I wish more games did that when they kind of like do like an HD version of older 8-bit games, but yeah, maybe that'll happen more in the future. But anyways, let me know if you guys have played this game and if you are going to try it out. Here is the Zero Tolerance collection. So this consists of 3 games, 2 of which I believe were released on the Sega Genesis back in the day. I had no idea they existed, but now they're available on the PS4. Now, if you're familiar with games like Doom, you'll know what to expect here. I played it. I was kind of sucking at it, so I got to play it a bit more to get used to it. But what's really cool about this is that they actually have a prototype of a 3rd game that was going to be released, but I guess they didn't make it. But now it's here. And I don't know if it's a full game, but definitely cool that they added it on this collection. I felt like these games were pretty legit back in the day, but I feel like if it kind of add a survival horror element to it if they have an enemy that's actually stalking you through the rooms. I don't know if this game really has that, but if it does, pretty on point. Make sure you guys check this one out. Here is Wife's Quest. So this is a 2D platformer where you play as a woman named Mia who's on a quest. I believe it's to save her husband. I believe he gets kidnapped in the game and you're on a quest to rescue him. Pretty cool platformer. I talked about it a couple years ago, but now it's finally come out from Premium Edition Games, so they're good at picking like good games for physical releases. So I think this one will be a game that people want to check out, especially if you like platformers. Here is the Bitmap Bureau collection. So this has Xenocrisis, Battle Axe, and Final Vendetta. Now you can see it's available on Switch and the PS5. So I guess a lot of you guys that kept your PS4 and Switch copies sealed, you can now play this version of the games if you want. But anyways, starting with Xenocrisis, you guys already know what I'm going to say about this one. Awesome top-down shooter game that everybody should love. Very popular with Bitmap Bureau, one of their most famous games, and pretty much available on all consoles, even like most retro consoles, at least starting up from the Super Nintendo era. Battle Axe, which I consider one of their hidden gems that they created, that game is freaking fantastic. It was a bit hard for me to get through some levels at first, but once you get used to it, man, this game is amazing. So definitely glad that's on here. And then we have Final Vendetta. Originally, I didn't care for it, and the reason for that was because I just got through playing the new Ninja Turtles game at the time, which was the Shredder's Revenge, and I was kind of comparing it to that. But this game on its own is freaking fantastic. An awesome beat-em-up game that I think everybody should own. Yeah, Final Vendetta is one of the top ones out there, guys. Definitely check this one out. Here's Dariusburst EX plus Another Cronicle. So, yeah. I believe, well, I'm pretty sure they said this one is the PSP game. There's a PSP Darius game that came out. I was actually going to get that one, but when I found out this version was it, I said, yep, let me go ahead and get the Switch version. So, comes with that PSP version, and I believe it comes with the arcade game as well, as you're seeing here. I had to get this because, you know, I like getting shoot 'em ups, especially ones that are of quality, and I feel like the Darius series has been like pretty popular for a very long time. And these physical releases, you know, I hate to say this, I feel like they're not going to last forever. But besides saying that, a great purchase, a must-have. Definitely pick up a copy of this game if you like shoot 'em ups. I mean, arcade mode, you can play up to 4 players at the same time. So that can be pretty hectic, I would think. But definitely a lot of fun. But there hasn't been a Darius game that I haven't liked, and this one, I know I will. So definitely try this one out, guys, if you have a chance. Here is CyberTrash Statics. I think that's how you pronounce the last part. But this game immediately reminded me of something that probably would be on the Amiga CD back in the day. So that has a big appeal for me. One of the main plots with this game is that your character has lost her memory and there's some kind of conspiracy going on. Now, unfortunately, out of all the games on this list, this one kind of just came in, so I haven't played it that much. But I just wanted to show you guys some footage of the game itself. But looking forward to playing this one. Here's Gravitators. So this is a twin stick shooter, and you know, this one didn't pull me in at first, but once I got past the training mode, the game really picked up from that. I hate when games kind of like force you to do the training modes, but I guess it's good in this game because it teaches you some patience that you're going to need playing some parts in this game. You know, it's not the type of twin stick shooter that where you're just shooting enemies up all the time. You're actually like grabbing items and delivering them and things like that. So it's a jack of all trades. Plus you get all kinds of upgrades as well too. But definitely a unique one. Another one that people should try out. Here's RedRaptor. This is a vertical shooting game that's pretty simplistic. You know, nothing really too good about it, not too bad about it. It's very simple. The only thing I would have a caveat about is that it forces you to go through a training mode, which you don't even need to go through, but it wants to teach you its mechanics, which I understand, but there's not really any mechanics that really stand out that'll make this any different from another shoot 'em up. But if you like the slow-paced type shooting games where a lot of enemies come on screen, not on a level of bullet hells, you might like this one. Here's Feeble Light. So the appeal of this one is that it looks like a Game Boy game. Now, there's a lot of enemies on screen, and I couldn't take them all out like in a timely manner, so I'm like really dodging all over the screen, being chased by like dragons and all kind of monsters. But overall, I was doing pretty good, even though I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I made it to the second level on the first try, I think, or maybe it was the third level. But still a pretty fun game, I think. I just got to get used to it, but definitely it will appeal to a lot of people who like old school Game Boy games. Lost Ruins is a game I've been waiting to play for almost 3 years now. It's been out for a while, but wanted to play it as a physical release. So now that it's here, I hate to say this, but this is a Metroidvania. I know people get tired of hearing that term, but that's just how it is. Now, one of the good things about this game is that if you don't care about the story, you could easily skip it, which is great. I think all Metroidvania should have that option, and just in case you're not into the story and you're more into the gameplay. Graphically, the game looks great to me, especially for a Metroidvania game. I feel like they put a lot of detail in the 2D sprites, so I think a lot of people will be happy with that. As far as the length, I think that's where the game might be a little disappointing for some. But, you know, you don't want games to be too long. You know, like a game that's short and sweet, you know, I feel like that's perfect. And this game kind of fits that for me. You know, it's not too long to beat the game. And it has a couple of good boss fights in it. There's a bunch of different weapons you can use in this game. You can even use like this teddy bear to attack enemies, which is pretty funny. But overall, definitely a game worth picking up, especially if you like Metroidvania types. 1917, the Alien Invasion DX Remastered. So, oh my god, what to say about this game? So, this is a vertical shoot 'em up that it has probably some of the weirdest scenery I've ever seen in a video game. Like, as you go through this game, the cinematics get like, I can't even show them to you, man, because I feel like I would get like demonetized or something like that, but this game is something else. Gameplay wise, it's fun, just like a regular shoot 'em up would be, but just like I think where the game like really stands out is its story. The story gets weirder as you go on, and the bosses you fight in this game are so freaky. Just, oh my god, I probably shouldn't even show them on here. But definitely a game I think a lot of people want to have in your collection, especially if you're a shoot 'em up fan. You just have to have this one. But yeah, the cinematics in this game are probably going to freak you out. Here's Excess Trim. So this is a game where you play as an alien with a buzzsaw spaceship that's terrorizing farmers in their cornfields. So you got to cut up the cornfields and make them mad. They come after you and you cut them up. Some of them try to get out of the way. Some come after you with tractors. But overall, you're trying to dodge the enemies and just survive as long as you can. It's funny how the alien face changes depending on how much damage you do on the levels. But this is a more of an arcadey game, so you'll probably play it in short bursts. But definitely something cool and funny to look at. Here is Sanabi. Now, I may be a little biased here, but I love a game where your character has a grappling hook. A lot of you guys don't know, I'm a massive fan of the Bionic Commando series. Played it all the time when I was a kid. Loved it. And this game just reminded me of that just by that hook. But I want to say this is a story-based game. Like, it's really story-driven. And sometimes it could kind of mess up the pacing in the game, but you want to make sure you like kind of pay attention to the story, because it actually like really helps out the game, I would say, when it comes to like certain parts. So Definitely try not to skip the story scenes, but they will interrupt some of the pacing, and that's my only issue with this game, is that it interrupts the pacing. But other than that, this game is action filled. The story is actually pretty good. It seems like this is like one of those indie games that actually focuses on a lot of the story, which is impressive. So I think this will pull a lot of people in. I would say 100% pick this game up. I don't know if this game is going to be on any other system besides the Switch. I know a lot of people were asking about it being on the PS4 or even the PS5, but maybe that'll happen in the future. But it's totally fine on the Nintendo Switch. Here's Cannon Dancer Osman for the Nintendo Switch. This is the collector's edition. I picked this game up because it was on sale. I think it was like $34. I was like, yes, let me grab this immediately. Strictly Limited recently had a 80% off sale, so I hopped on that. Now, as far as the game was originally going to be Strider Part 2, but they lost the rights, so they made their own game, which is perfectly fine. I'm just happy it got a physical release that people should hop on if they see it out there. But anyways, yeah, it plays like a Strider game. Lots of action, crazy bosses, crazy moves, enemies, all that good stuff. Story doesn't make much sense, but who cares about story when you got all this great gameplay? When Strictly Limited gets out a lot of their old stock, when they sell out of it, I hope they'll continue to kind of bring like arcade games to home consoles, with a couple upgrades or whatever like that, or even games that were never finished or released. If they keep that up, I think that's pretty good. Like I got Clockwork or Aquario, which was earlier in this video. That was an unfinished game that they helped finish. So I love studios to do stuff like that. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the Radical one, and I will see you all later.